Hello and welcome to Tailored Acres. I'm Taylor and I am a home gardener in Wisconsin Zone 4B. Today's project is a field trip to the Yellow River Nurseries. This is by Marshfield, and I ordered some plants in the fall from them. And in this little wagon here is my order. I got 10 balsam fir trees and 10 sugar maple trees, Bareroot. I am going to plant 3 of these Bareroot maple trees right away. Here are our tools for today. So obviously we have a shovel. I am going to be using some Biotone starter fertilizer in the hole. Most Bareroot trees, you want to plant them in the soil that they're going to be. You don't want to put really nice soil because the roots won't go into the not as nice soil. So use your in situ soil. You can top dress with compost. They definitely like that. And then we have 2 of these miracle tubes, and it's like a little greenhouse almost. There is some holes in the top here, and then there will be a stake that goes alongside those, and it will cover the entire tree. So I've never used those before. It'll be really interesting, but they came highly recommended. And then I just have a regular corrugated tube as well for some of the trees as well today. So this is what my order looks like. Looks like a couple sticks and some little fuzzy Christmas trees. So these are usually called Bareroot whips when they're just a single stem. So we'll get those unpacked. Here is what the roots look like in the bag. So they have damp wood chips in here to keep the roots moist. You do not want your roots on Bareroot of anything to dry out. So the ones I'm going to plant today, I'll pull these out and I'm going to seal the rest of them up in here and then keep this in a cool space. Here are my 3 little whips that I'm going to be planting here. So you can see it's just a tiny little root system. The other thing that's important on here is to see where, at what depth they were planted before. It looks like somewhere in between here. And on Bareroot trees, you want to try to plant them where they were planted previously. That will lead to the most success on that. It's also important when it is a grafted tree. That's even more important. But you want to make sure that that graft is out of the soil by a few inches at least. So these are not grafted. They're sugar maples. So we'll just try to plant them where they were planted before. Well, I'm digging my holes. I am just going to soak my Bareroots. Usually you want to do this for about an hour before you plant them, just to give them a nice big drink. Next, I am going to dig my hole, and I want to dig this about twice as deep and twice as wide as the current root system is. And what that does is loosen the soil around it so that the roots have an easier time establishing in uncompacted soil. Bareroot trees are an excellent option because they are the most affordable, but also they aren't root bound and they can send their own roots right into the soil that they're going to be growing in. All right, so I got my hole dug and I took the shovel around the hole too and kind of jabbed it in there. Next, just I am going to hold my Bareroot tree and see where the soil level is and make sure that's where I want to hit it. It was deep enough, so I'm going to start to backfill my hole. I have my hole about 2/3 of the way up now, and I'm just going to put some fertilizer in here. I did have fertilizer in the bottom as well. And I'm just going to add a little bit more soil on top of that and pat it down a little bit so that my fertilizer doesn't just float away. And then I'm going to grab a bucket and water this in, and this will help to find any holes or voids that you have once that water settles out. So you should wait until that water settles out to continue filling your hole back up. You'll also want to make sure that your tree is also still straight because you will still be able to move it around a little bit at this point. I'm then going to finish filling back in the hole and make sure that it is a little bit compacted so that there's no settlement, and then water it in again. Next up is the tree protection system. So I am using the Miracle Tube on this one, and I've never used these before, like I said. And it's like really tall, like the whole top. It's probably got a foot or more of growth before the whip reaches the top of it. So these, you just want to make sure that they are steady, and the lath that I had to secure it is not long enough, so I'm going to have to get some kind of different stake that's a lot taller, that I can make sure that it's very secure in. There are many different types of protection for these, and the corrugated ones are totally fine. This one will just protect it from the deer as well, because there's nothing of the tree that's sticking out of it, so they can't even get to it. And then there is also bird netting on top. So being out here in the wilderness, these are probably going to do a lot better than just a corrugated pipe. So choose what protection is best for you based on your conditions. I should add that in addition to deer, also mice and rabbits will chew on your new trees, and they will kill them. So you do want to have some sort of protection, especially for those little critters at the bottom. Here are my 3 trees that I planted today, the maples. So these will hopefully provide some good shade in a few years here. You can see we've planted 2 other ones previously. So this should make a nice little wall of shade for us. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for joining.